It's one of the things that we say on our website about our beef. It's not only, we're not just trying to make a beef that's good for you, we're trying to make a beef that tastes good. Because if it doesn't taste good, you're not going to keep eating it. So my biggest seller when I go to the farmer's market is bacon. We cure and smoke our own bacon, and I sell all that immediately. And I said, the worst thing for you is what people want the most. So we're trying to make our sausage a little healthier. It is whole hog sausage, so people say, "Wow, this is like meat." I said, "No, it is meat. It's not, we don't use the fat. We grind up the hams, the shoulders, and that's what we make the sausage from." But as far as students coming to the market, I think they ought to be price shoppers, and they ought to be looking at what are you getting, how these people grow this, how's it look, and how'd they grow it. Because what it looks like, if it's grown in good soil, it's going to have the nutrients in it. And what's their price? You got to be a value shopper in everything. I take my sons out places. Let me have this. I want this. I go, no, wait. Oh, it's over here. Is the same thing that's cheaper. Or this isn't as good as that. We could pay a little more over here, but it's better. So you need to be a value shopper, and particularly when you go to the farmer's market, and when you go to the grocery store too. But you need to learn a little bit about it and then go in and be a value shopper and understand that at the market, our meat is frozen. It's the same each week, but produce is different each week. And next week it may be better. It may have been better last week. So go, if there's not any good stuff there, don't buy anything. Eat something else. Things are seasonal. At our restaurant, we serve produce seasonally. We're trying to keep tomatoes all winter. I said, why? If the tomatoes are no good in the winter, let's just not have tomatoes. Let's have what is in season. And folks want tomatoes all year round, but the tomato you get in December and January is, in my book, isn't worth eating. You'd be better off doing something else. Poundage or dollar wise, probably $500 or $600 a trip when we go there. And surprisingly, I know one of the things that I'd like to talk about is how can we make this more attractive for students. Now, I go to Kroger and look at their meat prices at Kroger. I've actually taken all of our cuts and weighed them. Well, they come weighed, but priced them and been to Kroger. And I'm competing with Kroger for the good meat at Kroger. Now, I can't compete with Walmart, but I can't compete with where they get their meat either, and wouldn't want to. But for quality meat, we're trying to provide a good product at a reasonable price. And I've had several people come say, "You need to charge more. You could get more." I said, "Well, that's not my point. I want to get more people here who can afford it, and students are among them." And so. But it shocks me that after being at the market for 3 years, I've probably only had 3 or 4 people that have said, "Oh, your prices are really good." I said, "Oh, you noticed?" No one seems to look. I wish they would, because that's how I think it ought to be. I don't think we should be a novelty that just a few people say, "Oh yeah, we have grass-finished meat," because we can afford it. I think that if people are discriminating shoppers, and I've encouraged other vendors at the market that don't stifle competition here. Let's encourage it. It'll sharpen us all, and we need to get better at what we're doing and be able to sell at a price that people can afford. We can't be a novelty item. We're never going to make any headway. And so that's one of the differences that I have with some of the other vendors at the market, is I'm trying to create more competition. And if somebody comes in there and can sell a true product, a good grass-finished beef, they've done it correctly, cheaper than me, more power to them. If they put me out of business, go for it. That's the American way. And if I have to find a way to get better at it, then I'll have to get better at it. Now, that brings up the topic of people being educated. You guys have some good questions there, and people, when they come to the market, need to ask some tough questions of people. because there, as in any business, there are charlatans who come in right away with a product that is not what it's supposed to be. So someone might ask, gee, are your animals all born and raised on your farm? Because there are people who will go out and buy. I just looked at the livestock reports now. The price of cattle, stocker cattle, is up. A 600-pounder is like $1.20. Wow, that's pretty good. But you get up to a 900-pounder and it's 85 cents. So you can go to the market and buy a 900-pounder, bring it home, and you could say it's grass finished. Now, you don't know where it's been. You might even finish it on grass and say, oh, it's grass finished. But you don't know where it's been for the first year and a half of its life. And there are people doing that. You don't know if it's, you'd say, I haven't given it any growth hormones or any antibiotics. You wouldn't be lying. Has it ever been, did it ever have did someone else do it? You see, my son has asked me different times, oh, Dad, this says no growth hormones on a carton of milk. I said, no, you see it says no growth hormones, BRST. I said, it's none of that particular growth hormone. It doesn't mean it never had a growth hormone. It means it didn't get that one. So this labeling doesn't impress me. It's not no growth hormones at all. It's not the BRST one. So the same thing, questions that have to be asked at the market. Buyer beware, as in anything else. So need to know the right questions to ask. There's some basic simple ones. One was run on your farm, and on down the list. And same thing with produce. You need to ask some questions about how's your produce rate. What do you do about pests? What do you do? What do you do for fertilizer? There's one organic producer there who's certified organic, and I think there should be a bigger differentiation. She has her certificate up, but other people say certified. They say organic but not certified. Well, then you shouldn't be able to say you're organic. Like, I wouldn't say I'm organic. And if my farm was organic, I still couldn't say I was organic, because the processing facility has to be organic. The cattle have to be organic. It's not just your land, it's your methods with the cattle. The cattle themselves have to be free of all these things for 3 years. So, and then the facility where I process has to be. So it's very difficult, I don't know, it's close to impossible to do that, to get all, because you don't even control your facility. I don't know of any that are organic, so I don't know where I'd have to take it. So I don't call it organic, and I'll do like Joel Salatin does and say we're better than organic, but I won't say we're organic.
After that, we worked up quite an appetite, so we decided to stop by Mikey's 7th to try some of Phil Mauser's grass-fed beef. Mikey's 7th is only located 10 miles west on 460 from Blacksburg, Virginia.
You might wonder where the name comes from. Well, Phil and Mikey have 6 children already, and this restaurant is quickly becoming their 7th.
They use products from their farm, other local farms, the farmers market, and Homestead Creamery, which also sells to Virginia Tech and is featured at Dietz Place.
The benefits of the grass-fed beef which they feature are that it is higher in the good fats and has less of the bad fats. Grass-finished beef has 40% less fat overall compared to grain-finished beef. It is richer in antioxidants and conjugated linoleic acid, CLA, which is a cancer-fighting compound found in meat and dairy products of ruminants. Their meat also is high in vitamin E and vitamin C, and does not contain traces of added hormones, antibiotics, or any other drugs.
For our tasty meal, we had a variety of great food and drink, each sampling a different item on the menu. First off, our salad was topped with salad dressing made right here at Mikey's 7th and sweetened with honey from 5 Penny Farms. Our sides included homemade macaroni and cheese, coleslaw, and homemade sweet potato fries. For our entries, we had the 3rd Pounder burger topped with sautéed portobello mushrooms, caramelized onions, and Munster cheese. We also had the honey mustard chicken sandwich topped with a homemade honey mustard